Lampedusa, Maltese. Lampedusa is the largest island of the Italian Pelagia Islands in the Mediterranean Sea. The comune of Lampedusa e Lanosa is part of the Sicilian province of Agrigento, which also includes the smaller islands of Lanosa and Lampione. It is the southernmost part of Italy and Italy's southernmost island, Tunisia, which is about 113 kilometers to the east of Lampedusa. Lampedusa has an area of 20.2 square kilometers and a population of about 6,000 people. Its main industries are fishing, agriculture, and tourism. A ferry service links the island with Porto Empedocle, near Agrigento, Sicily. There are also year-round flights from Lampedusa Airport to Palermo and Catania on the Sicilian mainland. In the summer, there are additional services to Rome and Milan, besides many other seasonal links with the Italian mainland. In 2013, Rabbit Beach, located in the southern part of the island, was voted the world's best beach by travel site TripAdvisor. Since the early 2000s, the island has become a primary European entry point for migrants, mainly coming from Libya. The name Lampedusa derives from the ancient Greek name of the island, Lampedusa or Lampedusa. It has been suggested that the name derives from the word lepus, which means rock, due to the rocky landscape of the island. Another story is that this word was also used by the Greeks for a kind of oyster in the island, called like that due to the abundance of this kind of oyster. Other scholars believe that the name derives from lampus, which means torch, because of the lights which were placed on the island for sailors. Historically, Lampedusa was a landing place and a maritime base for the ancient Phoenicians, Greeks, Romans and Berbers. The Romans established a plant for the production of the prized fish sauce known as garum. In 812, directed by the Aghlabids, the island was sacked by Saracens during the Arab-Byzantine Wars. By the end of the medieval period, the island became a dependency of the Kingdom of Sicily. In 1553, Barbary pirates from North Africa under the command of the Ottoman Empire raided Lampedusa and carried off 1,000 captives into slavery. As a result of pirate attacks, the island became uninhabited. In 1565, Don Garcia de Toledo made a brief stop at Lampedusa while leading a relief force to break the Great Siege of Malta. In subsequent centuries, the Hospitaller fleet, which was based in Malta, sometimes used Lampedusa's harbour as a shelter from bad weather or from corsairs. In 1667, the island was given to Ferdinand Tomasi of Palermo, who acquired the title of Prince of Lampedusa from King Charles II of Spain. Tomasi was the ancestor of the writer Giuseppe Tomasi di Lampedusa. A century after acquiring the island, the Tomasi family began a program of resettlement. In the late 18th century, the Order of St. John maintained a small establishment on Lampedusa, which included a chapel dedicated to the Virgin Mary. This was manned by a priest and 6 Maltese men, who often traded with pirates. A structure known as Marabutto, probably a mausoleum commemorating a member of the Marabouts, also existed on the island at this time, and it was visited by many Muslim devotees. On the 25th of June 1800, Prince Giulio Maria Tomasi leased Lampedusa in perpetual emphytesis to Salvatore Gat, a Maltese merchant, on the condition that the latter would build 2 coastal watchtowers at Cala della Galera and Cala della Madonna. Gat settled the island with some Maltese workers, and he imported livestock and began cultivating the land. The old castle was reconstructed, and a windmill was also built. Gat hoisted the British flag for protection. On the 27th of June 1804, the prince conceded the island to Giuseppe Bugeja, another Maltese, although Gat remained in control of the island. At the time, the British were considering taking over Lampedusa, possibly as an alternative to Malta, which had just become a British protectorate. In 1803, the Royal Navy dropped the idea since the island's small harbour was not comparable to Malta's larger and well-fortified Grand Harbour. However, reports stated that the island could be useful in supplying Malta, especially with the threat of Sicily falling to the French. In 1810, Gat leased the island to Alexander Fernandez of the Army Commissariat in the Mediterranean, who established a farm with cattle and sheep, and employed 28 workers to turn the island's surface into pasturage. A small detachment of 26 men of the 14th Regiment was sent to the island in 1811 to support Fernandez, who was planning to build a fort on the island. By 1813, the island had a population of almost 200 Maltese workers. A royal commission stated in an 1812 report that there would be considerable difficulties in turning the island into a supply base for Malta. The commission found Fernandez's situation to be very strange, and the Treasury demanded an explanation of his conduct. In November 1813, the sloop HMS Partridge was infected with Y.